what do we know about UFOs in Area 51? Well, here's what we don't know. We don't know if there's life on other planets. At one point, the Pentagon even launched a task force to investigate them. However, the U.S. government seems reluctant to share what it has learned. No place is more shrouded in secrecy than Area 51, a highly classified United States Air Force facility within the Nevada Test and Training Range. It's near Groom Lake and just north of the small town of Rachel, and though its exact coordinates are classified, Google Maps users can zoom into an area marked "Simply Do Not Fly." In the summer of 1947, the U.S. Army Air Forces reported that it had recovered a disc from a ranch near Corona, New Mexico. The Roswell incident immediately captured the public's attention and sparked a frenzy of UFO speculation. However, the team could not confirm whether or not it was a weather balloon. As such, the official explanation was changed to that it was from a top-secret surveillance project known as Mogul. This left the possibility open that there could have been a UFO involved in the Roswell incident after all. On the night of November 1964, two U.S. Air Force security police officers were patrolling the perimeter of Area 51, and they spotted a white disc-shaped object descending from the sky. Many ufologists believe that the markings in the sand and the oily residue on the ground are evidence of an alien landing. Philip was part of a group of military personnel tasked with tracking unidentified radar contacts, and they picked up a series of anomalous aerial vehicles descending from 60,000 feet down to 50 feet in a matter of seconds. However, others are more skeptical and argue that it is possible that the security guards may have witnessed a secret military test or a private pilot who landed their plane in the wrong spot. Still, the incident remains a popular topic of debate among UFO enthusiasts. On the night of November 11, 1966, an Air Force colonel named John A. Oakland was flying his F-86 Sabre jet over Area 51 when he spotted a brilliant white light in the distance. The light was unlike anything John had ever seen before, and he immediately reported it to the control tower. They said that the vehicle landed near a remote access road and emitted a bright flash of light before disappearing. John pursued the object and eventually intercepted it, but he was unable to get close enough to identify it. However, further investigation revealed that there were other pilots who had witnessed similar objects in the skies over Area 51. The base is still heavily guarded, and the government is still reluctant to release information about it. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching. See you next time. However, that doesn't mean we shouldn't continue to try. After all, this is the only way we're going to learn the truth about Area 51 and UFOs. In fact, there have been reports of strange lights and objects in the sky dating back to the early days of the base. The Air Force eventually concluded that the Falcon incident was a misidentification of a Soviet nuclear detection satellite. But many ufologists disagree. They believe that John witnessed a UFO and that the government is actively trying to cover it up. The object then abruptly turned and disappeared into the desert below. Fortunately, we may never know for sure. The truth is that Area 51 is one of the most heavily guarded facilities in the world, and the government has done everything it can to keep its operations secret. For decades, the base was not even officially acknowledged by the government, and even today, very little is known about what goes on there. When they investigated the landing site, they found strange markings in the sand and an oily residue on the ground. However, a few days later, the Army issued a statement claiming that the disc was actually a weather balloon. The next UFO sighting associated with Area 51 took place in 1989 when a local rancher named Bob Laser claimed that he worked at the base as a physicist. In 2013, it was officially declassified and the Air Force released a number of documents about the base's history. This has led some to believe that the government is finally coming clean about Area 51. Others, however, remain skeptical and believe that the government is still hiding things from us and their technology, citing security measures at Area 51 and the tight-lipped nature of the military. They were also emitting a faint humming sound that could be heard through the aircraft's electronic countermeasures. However, a Freedom of Information Act request revealed that there were multiple reports of similar sightings over the years, leading to speculation that the government may be hiding evidence of alien activity along the coast. Philip and his crew tried to intercept the vehicles, but they seemed to disappear into thin air. This isn't exactly what we would expect from a competent fighter pilot, but he didn't serve in the Air Force for nothing. Of course, Bob's story was met with skepticism and he was widely mocked by scientists and the media. However, there have been plenty of alleged Area 51 witnesses since his, and some believe that there may be more to his story than meets the eye. He said that while there he saw firsthand evidence of extraterrestrial spacecraft and even got a chance to examine alien vehicles. According to Bob, the government was reverse engineering alien technology and the craft he saw were powered by an element called element 115, which could produce tremendous amounts of energy. And that was that, or so everyone thought. We don't know if any intelligent alien species exist out there in our great big universe. Witnesses came forward claiming that they had seen a flying saucer and that the military had recovered bodies from the crash site. Despite this, the official story remained that it was a weather balloon until 1978 when the Air Force released a report stating that the debris from Roswell was actually from a nuclear surveillance device being tested. Again, the case was closed, or so everyone thought. During its early days, the base was used to develop and test the A-12 Oxcart, a top-secret high-altitude reconnaissance aircraft. This rumor was fueled by the construction of a massive hangar large enough to conceal a UFO and its occupants. Over time, several alleged UFO witnesses claimed that they had seen strange lights and vehicles in the sky above Area 51, leading many to believe that the government was not only monitoring UFOs from this base but also housing them there. But over time, the base's purpose became more ambiguous and the theories started coming in. The fact that it is still shrouded in mystery hasn't helped to put these rumors to rest either. In fact, it seems to have done quite the opposite. We also don't know if any of those species have ever visited Earth. But what we do know is that for decades, the United States government has been studying unidentified flying objects. Area 51 was established sometime between 1955 and 1957 during the height of the Cold War and serves as a testing ground for developing and acquiring experimental aircraft and weapons systems. As word spread of a highly secretive military base in the Nevada desert, conspiracy theorists began speculating that the government was hiding evidence of extraterrestrial life there. In the years since, Area 51 has been linked to some of the most famous UFO sightings in history, including the 1947 Roswell crash. So how true are these claims? To find out, we'll first have to go back to the beginning. Over the years, new details emerged about the Roswell incident, casting doubt on the official explanation. In the late 1990s, the Roswell incident was reopened and investigators were able to confirm that the debris from the crash site was from a surveillance device. And if there was, where better to stash it than Area 51? Bob went on to claim that the government was actively trying to cover up the existence of aliens. But Area 51 sightings weren't limited to alleged insiders. Their report of the incident was classified for decades before being leaked to the public. And when it was made public, it caused quite a stir. Fast forward to the summer of 2004 when an Air Force intelligence officer named Philip J. Crisotto Jr. reportedly spotted a UFO while on duty over the Pacific Ocean off the coast of Southern California. Philip said that the craft were moving in a way that was impossible for any known aircraft. At the time, when Philip reported the incident, it was initially dismissed as a hallucination brought on by stress and fatigue. Perhaps the most famous UFO sighting associated with Area 51 is the 1966 Falcon incident. He described the object as being about 30 feet in diameter and hovering silently in the night sky. When John reported the incident, it was initially dismissed as a meteor or a reflection. So are any of these claims true? However, in recent years, the government has been more forthcoming about Area 51. The truth is that we may never know what goes on at Area 51. What do you think? Is there life out there? In the vastness of space, have aliens visited Earth? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.